Imagine a land where myths and legends intertwine with history, where ancient stones whisper tales of past battles. The rugged landscapes are as timeless as the stories they hold. Welcome to Ireland, a country whose rich tapestry of history spans millennia. Our journey into the heart of this captivating island begins long before the first written words. In an era where the mists of time shroud a people whose legacy still resonates today, our story starts around 12,000 years ago when the first human footsteps made their way onto Irish soil. As the glaciers of the last ice age retreated, the land emerged, lush and inviting, drawing settlers from what is now modern-day Britain and beyond. These early inhabitants were hunter-gatherers navigating a wild, untamed landscape with skill and ingenuity, leaving behind tools and artifacts that speak of lives lived on the edge of the known world. Fast forward to around 4000 BCE, when the Neolithic era dawned, bringing with it revolutionary changes. These early farmers transformed the Irish landscape, clearing forests to make way for crops and settlements. They erected megalithic monuments that continue to awe and inspire, none more famous than Newgrange. Built around 3200 BCE, this passage tomb predates Stonehenge and the Great Pyramids, a testament to the advanced understanding of astronomy and engineering possessed by these ancient people. Every winter solstice, as the first light of dawn penetrates the tomb's inner chamber, one can only wonder at the spiritual significance that inspired such a feat. Yet Ireland's story is not just of its people, but of its invaders and settlers too. The Celts arrived around 500 BCE, bringing with them a vibrant culture that would shape the identity of Ireland for centuries. They introduced the Irish language, or Gaeilge, and a rich mythology that still captivates imaginations. The tales of Cuchulainn, the warrior of Ulster, and the tragic love story of Deirdre of the Sorrows are just a few of the legends that have been passed down through generations, echoing themes of heroism, love, and betrayal. As the Celtic tribes flourished, they formed a patchwork of small kingdoms, each ruled by a chieftain. This era, often romanticized as the Age of the Fianna, saw the rise of warrior bands and druids. The latter revered as keepers of wisdom and tradition. The druids played a crucial role in society, serving as priests, judges, and teachers. Their influence was so profound that it would take centuries for Christianity to fully supplant their beliefs. But change was on the horizon. In 432 AD, a man named Patrick arrived on Irish shores. He set in motion a transformation that would shape the island's future. Captured and enslaved by Irish raiders as a young man, Patrick escaped, only to return years later as a missionary. His mission: to convert the Irish to Christianity. With determination and perhaps a touch of divine intervention, he succeeded. He used the shamrock to explain the Holy Trinity, a symbol that would become synonymous with Irish identity. However, Ireland's conversion was not solely Patrick's doing. Monasticism gained a foothold, with monasteries becoming centers of learning and culture. This period, known as the Golden Age of Ireland, saw monks transcribe texts. They preserved not only Christian, but also ancient Roman and Greek knowledge. The illuminated manuscripts they produced, such as the Book of Kells, are masterpieces of art and devotion. Their intricate designs captivate scholars and tourists alike. Yet, as Ireland basked in this cultural renaissance, a new threat loomed from across the seas. The Vikings, seafaring warriors from Scandinavia, began their raids in the late 8th century. Their longships cut through the water like the sharp blades of their swords. Initially seeking plunder, these Norse invaders soon established settlements, Dublin among them, setting the stage for a new chapter in Ireland's saga. And so, the stage is set for an epic tale of resilience, conflict, and transformation. Join us as we delve deeper into the heart of Ireland, where the echoes of the past continue to shape the island's present and future. As we continue our journey through Ireland's intricate history, we find ourselves in the midst of Viking Age turmoil. The Norsemen, having established bases in coastal strongholds like Dublin, Wexford, and Waterford, were more than just marauders. They were traders and settlers, and their influence began to weave itself into the fabric of Irish life. These Scandinavian warriors introduced new technologies, such as shipbuilding techniques. They fostered trade networks that expanded Ireland's economic horizons. However, the presence of the Vikings also sparked conflict. The Irish chieftains, fighting fiercely to protect their territories, found themselves in a constant state of warfare. This era was marked by shifting alliances and epic battles, perhaps none more famous than the Battle of Clontarf in 1014. Led by the legendary High King Brian Boru, the Irish forces clashed with the Vikings in a bid to end Norse domination. Though Brian Boru fell in battle, his forces emerged victorious, marking a significant turning point. The power of the Vikings waned, and they began to assimilate into Irish society, leaving a legacy that included the founding of many of Ireland's key cities. Yet, Ireland's internal divisions persisted, with regional kings vying for supremacy. This fractious landscape set the stage for an unprecedented event in 1169, the arrival of the Normans. Invited by Dermot MacMurrough, a deposed king of Leinster seeking to reclaim his throne, the Normans, led by Strongbow, descended upon Ireland with the might of their feudal knights. Unlike previous invaders, the Normans came not only with swords, but with castles and the feudal system, reshaping the political landscape of Ireland. The Normans quickly established dominance, building formidable stone fortresses and fortifying towns. Their architectural legacy is still visible in the form of castles and city walls that dot the Irish countryside. The assimilation of Norman knights into the Irish nobility gave rise to the Hiberno-Norman identity. A fusion of cultures enriched both societies. But the Norman foothold was not without challenge. The Gaelic resurgence in the 14th century saw Irish lords reclaiming lands. A cultural revival took hold, with Gaelic customs, language, and Brehon Law reasserting influence. This ebb and flow of power created a unique tapestry of cultural coexistence and conflict. Ireland's landscape became a mosaic of Gaelic and Norman influences. In the late 15th century, a new power began to exert its influence over Ireland: the English crown. The Tudor monarchs, eager to consolidate their power, viewed Ireland as a potential threat. They sought to bring it under tighter control. This ambition culminated in the Tudor conquest of Ireland, a period marked by brutal campaigns and significant social upheaval. The policy of surrender and regrant sought to anglicize Irish lords. The plantation system introduced English and Scottish settlers into confiscated lands. This forever altered the demographic landscape. The 17th century witnessed further turmoil as Ireland became entangled in the wider religious and political conflicts of Europe. The Cromwellian conquest of 1649 to 1653 left a scar across the nation as Oliver Cromwell's forces waged a campaign of retribution and land confiscation against Irish Catholics. This exacerbated sectarian tensions that would echo through the centuries. As the dust of conflict settled, the seeds of rebellion began to take root. The late 18th century saw the rise of the United Irishmen, inspired by the American and French revolutions. They sought to unite Irishmen of all creeds in the cause of independence. The rebellion of 1798, though ultimately crushed, highlighted the growing desire for self-determination. It set the stage for future struggles. Into the 19th century, Ireland's story continued to unfold against a backdrop of burgeoning nationalism and dire hardship. The Great Famine of the 1840s, a tragedy of unimaginable scale, decimated the population. It forced millions to emigrate, leaving an indelible impact on the Irish diaspora and national psyche. Out of this adversity emerged a renewed drive for independence, Figures like Daniel O'Connell championed Catholic emancipation. Charles Stewart Parnell campaigned for home rule. Our journey through Ireland's history is far from over. As the 20th century dawns, the winds of change are gathering momentum. These changes set the stage for seismic shifts that will redefine the nation's identity and destiny. Stay with us as we continue to unravel the threads of Ireland's past. Each chapter is a testament to the resilience and spirit of its people. As the 20th century unfolded, Ireland found itself at a tipping point. The struggle for independence reached a crucial juncture with the Easter Rising of 1916. On April 24th, a group of Irish nationalists seized key locations in Dublin, declaring an Irish Republic. Though the rebellion was swiftly suppressed by British forces, it ignited a flame of revolutionary fervor across the nation. The execution of its leaders transformed them into martyrs, galvanizing public opinion. This intensified demands for autonomy. The aftermath of the Rising saw the rise of Sinn Féin, a political movement advocating for complete independence. By 1918, Sinn Féin won a landslide victory in the general election. They refused to take their seats in the British Parliament and instead formed the Dáil Éireann, an alternative Irish parliament. The subsequent War of Independence, 1919 to 1921, pitted the Irish Republican Army, IRA, against British forces. This culminated in the Anglo-Irish Treaty of 1921. This treaty established the Irish Free State, granting dominion status to 26 counties. 6 counties in the north remained part of the United Kingdom, sowing seeds of division. The treaty itself was divisive, sparking the Irish Civil War between pro-treaty and anti-treaty factions. The conflict, marked by its brutal intensity, ended with the pro-treaty side prevailing. It left deep scars on the Irish landscape, both physically and emotionally. In the years that followed, Ireland focused on nation building. They navigated the challenges of establishing a new identity and governance structure. The mid-20th century saw Ireland charting its own course. Eamon de Valera, a towering figure in Irish politics, played a central role. His leadership helped to steer Ireland through turbulent times. This included the drafting of a new constitution in 1937, which further asserted Ireland's sovereignty. The Declaration of Ireland as a republic in 1949 cemented its status as an independent nation. Meanwhile, tensions simmered in Northern Ireland, where the Catholic minority faced discrimination. By the late 1960s, these tensions erupted into a period known as the Troubles. The conflict was characterized by violent clashes between IRA factions, loyalist paramilitaries, and British forces. The Troubles cast a long shadow over Ireland, with its echoes felt in bombings and assassinations. Amidst the turmoil, however, were glimmers of hope. The peace process gained momentum in the 1990s, driven by tireless negotiations. The landmark Good Friday Agreement of 1998 was a watershed moment. It brought an end to decades of violence and established a framework for power sharing in Northern Ireland. This historic accord signaled a new era of cooperation and reconciliation. Though the path to lasting peace remains complex and fraught with challenges. As Ireland entered the 21st century, it embraced its role on the global stage. Ireland underwent rapid economic transformation during the Celtic Tiger years. This period of prosperity saw unprecedented growth and modernization. Though it was not without its pitfalls, culminating in a financial crisis. Today, Ireland stands as a vibrant, diverse, and dynamic nation, a testament to the enduring spirit of its people and the rich tapestry of its history. From the ancient legends of the Celts to the modern-day challenges of Brexit and globalization, Ireland continues to navigate its unique path, drawing strength from its storied past and looking towards a hopeful future. In the ever-changing landscape of global politics and culture, Ireland's story is one of resilience and renewal. A nation defined by its ability to adapt and thrive in the face of adversity. As we conclude our journey through the captivating history of Ireland, we are reminded that this island is more than just a place. With its rolling green hills and windswept coasts, it is a spirit. And so, the story of Ireland continues, ever unfolding,